So guys, welcome. We will now be doing, maybe for the next few months, virtual shows for Word Smash poetry, due to the restrictions and also maybe just to abide with the gathering rules so that we can keep on enjoying poetry. But we'll keep on having different sessions with you guys for different organizations in smaller numbers and smaller spaces. So yeah. So our show today, welcome guys, and our show today, this Saturday on the 27th, and this hour, the 1400 hours on a Saturday, we have got a number of poets that are lined up to scintillate you on our theme entitled Accountability in Action. We have Mike Tembo, TAP, Raphael Banda, Rexella, SOP, Colette, Zach, Sydney. We are going to have all these poets coming up here and say what they think or how creatively they were inspired to speak about accountability. So, we start from here. I know our sessions, all of them are themed, and the reason why we do themed shows is we want you to be challenged and challenge us and challenge the whole country on the issues that happen within your different communities. And hence, our first poet to come up on stage. Let's put our hands together for SOP, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon. My poem is titled Zivazako, Country Zivazako. See, humanity has become a fixture of the past as we turn spirituality into idiocy and stupidity. In my country, Zivazako, accountability is just an English word that rhymes with ability. Because that side you have couples that dance the dance of sharks, forming angles on the bed or in the bush who knows, shooting bullets of sweetness towards each other, solving equation of romance on the chalkboard, varying trigonometry and calculus about passion, but when they describe a semicircle in the womb, they try to wrap it off using boom. Boom! The only detergent paste that killed the little babies even before they were formed, prepackaged with Coca-Cola, used by couples who never wanted to be accountable for their own pleasure. We have hyenas that eat and crack every bone they find in the streets, busy allowing their emotions and feelings overtake their purity and dignity. But when HIV dancing season younger in their blood, they blame nature, busy shouting eggs, 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 eggs. You have killed my mother, you have killed my father, you have killed my brother, you have killed my sister, even my neighbor's dog you killed. You dog, who told you every car you see in the street you're supposed to open the door and drive? Who told you every car you see in British Road is your mother, or sorry, is your Pajero to get into? Remember, in my country, Zivazako, accountability is as an English word that rhymes with ability. Because we have men who cheat and after being caught blame the devil for having a side chick. Busy abusing our women, turning to sick freaks like chickens slaughtered at the dirty market and eaten by a drunkard at a bar in the toilet. We have women that enjoy the pleasurable, tantalizing, well-crafted hands of us men. And after it break up, they pretend as if we force them to accept us. Busy shouting all men are dogs, just in the actress says they're turning into sheep goats who cannot understand that a human being can date a dog. Only a dog accepts a dog. Am I lying? You see, in Zivazako, we have famous hospitals like Mwanawensu and student teaching hospital STH, where medicine disappear in thin air. And those which were there were recently marked expired. But nobody had the capacity and audacity to stand up and answer two deadly questions in the world. Why and how? At the University of Zivazako Unsai, we have students who bribe and sleep with lecturers in order to pass an exam. And at the end of the day, everybody is asking why in our country still have incompetent people occupying certain key positions. You see, our capital city that side is Isaka, where those who walk uniform and in funny boots kill people, shooting them to heaven or hell, who knows? But they try to avoid the cell by saying it was an accident. But I thought at school they told me lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, 3 times as foolishness. They are fascinating characters vividly portrayed on TV, but after 30 minutes of broadcasting, they disappear in thin air, and no one is ready to be accountable for the matter. In my country, accountability in action is as a story stuck in civic education, as a civil war of poverty obliterate our intestines, distorting our direction towards development, bringing the manifestation of hunger as a seduction of that sweet, hot, lovely, cute lady called money overtakes our mentality and maturity. In my country, Zivazako accountability is an English word that rhymes with ability. Because we are becoming steady tools of destruction, breaking the construction of dignity. Daggers of failure, blaming life our own stupidity. We are walking cascades, carrying different or refining dead mistakes, forgetting our responsibility. Black and white vultures, so selfish, our own resources we steal. We no longer differentiate between appreciation and corruption, but on the media we're full of cavility. You see, lack of accountability in action distorts our agility towards economic growth. And Zambia bleeds in poverty, stripped naked without cash. She laid down like a prostitute in front of every international money fund, begging for grants. She can't pay back like a stripper in a bar because our children, in their mentality, accountability is just an English word that rhymes with stupidity and idiocy. Let's unite as we change our mentality.
Let's put our hands together again for the power. Right, we move on. I call upon poet Zach to come up on stage. Let's put our hands together for the brother. Let's do some love.
Afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Yeah, so it's a short piece here. So it's titled Accountability in Action as well. Accountability in action. Glass. Transparent and fragile unless it's bulletproof, then its destruction is gradual. Transparent, it's the way it should be, it's the way it would be if you actually cared about what we could be great. Accountability. Taller than the tallest mountain, our invisible roots watered by colorless fountain, but just like my pockets, your promises are empty. A wheelbarrow of transport while you roll in a Bentley, you give us the clumsy while you clearly have plenty. Proceedings, accountability in action. Clearly and have plenty of money you have in your pockets, but we do not have anything in our pockets. But we are both to be blamed over. We've both been irresponsible. Me from holding you accountable, after using our ignorance as leaders, we no longer inspire ourselves to understand that accountability is an action wait. The word accountable is an action wait. But you keep on doing your action and we expect a different result. We are tired of this. Let me define them. There were black suits like a tribe that conquered England, caught the dudes in 19. I do not care, because I really don't care about them. These men and women in black suits, they have a different figure in giving us an accountable picture. I mean, they really suck behind these women in different pictures with their body, I mean, figures in ends. They instead in hiding their pretty face, I mean, they give us a different action. Accountability in action. These guys who were very black and white, I mean, they're so-called black people we are intelligent to see on TVs and televisions. TVs rather television to say radio, we listen. These guys just hide our everything. Accountability in action. Zach.
Let's show some love again to the brothers. Yes, the interpretation of the theme keeps on being unveiled for us to understand that what is accountability, from where you stand from. I think accountability is honoring up your promises. I'm going to read you a poem entitled Promises. It comes from my book, The Thoughts of a Vagabond. Yes, it's a book without sense. Promises. They forget the promises they made. These leaders, they lead in paths they failed. These leaders, they promised to take us to the land they've never been. The land they destroyed. These leaders, they lead through promises. Only they do is to promise. The future is bright. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm calling up on stage poet Mike Tembo to come on stage. Let's show some love.
My poem is entitled Letter to My Leader. Dear leader, we come to your office and talk about politics. You give us that beautiful chair. Oh yes, the chair is so damn comfortable. But when we try to hold you accountable, you push us away and say we are down. Were we down when we chose you? Blind or maybe stupid for selecting you. You promised us a lot, but you gave us a remote to a DSTV that is not subscribed for. Dear leader, what did you mean when you said development? Was it development on your flat belly into a big belly, or maybe development of your daughter or child having owning more and leaving people to starve and nowhere to sleep. Dear leader, as development all about you and your officials being brought down because of your wrongdoing, you gave us condoms that are leaking. Dear leader, we thought our votes made us gods, but to you our votes made us gods, and almighty voices just sound meh, and you laughed at us. Is that what you promised us? Is that the development you talked about? Dear leader, listen to our letter.
Let's show some love to the brother again, ladies and gentlemen. We will post that letter to the leader, but I think I know the name. Anyway, we won't put names on this one. We have your poetic license, you know. I'm the leader. Dear protest poet, I didn't give my daughter a mole. Anyway. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we go on. I call upon Raxela to come up on stage. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so my poem is entitled, Did We Forget? Did we forget our parents' lessons on how to be responsible? Did we forget our forefathers, the ones who went to prison for us? Did we forget our mother's words, the words of truth? Our ancestors built this land on dreams that tomorrow must be better for everyone. So when did we forget the dreams of freedom, the dreams of peace, the prayers of our leaders, the ones who gave everything for us, how they didn't spare coins and dimes for us, how they knew the importance of five finger, a hand that is just a hand but together builds a nation, a hand that can give a handshake but also defend and form a fist. So when did we forget the promise we made, that change is coming? Are we still waiting? When did we forget the promise we made of accountability, transparency, and justice? Or was that just wordplay? We are now becoming used to being toyed with. Each breath is struggle with all this pollution, but pollution must be fertile ground for greed to be planted and root evil. And funds are not the only things we don't see working. What are these funds if not being refunded or balancing someone else's pocket weight? Can we put this plan back into action and stop hiding behind the shadows of deceit, proclaiming development like a folktale when the only thing we see developing are potholes in our compounds, creating an obstacle for each rainy season? It seems we have forgotten our gospel, and our wells no longer hold coins anymore, just another hole to be filled with this thirst. And where can we take all this pain to sleep when our wishes are being drowned by the water? And where can we take all this grief if suffering is the only thing assumed, that pain will come again and again? It seems like persecution. But do not get me wrong. I am just trying to find the courage I swallowed and be among the many who are trying to build this bridge so that we can actually see the SCC and other agencies prosecute and get some justifications when things don't work the way they should. So may we remember, before we are dismembered, that the law is not against the innocent, and those with rights should speak up and rescue the suffering, the local people who can't afford drugs, who are still dressed in rags. And may we remember that truth isn't kept secret, and that honesty is low. So if you could see the color of our bones, if we could stretch out our palms and showed you what we hide in them, if you knew the mistakes we too have made, would you know that we are human too? Or would you rather continue the act of supremacy? Or will you remember our mantra? Tiende pamoja mtima umo. Let us grow together and not leave anyone behind.
Let's put our hands together again for the sister. Right, we move on with our show, ladies and gentlemen. I want to call upon a brother of mine, Raphael Banda, to come up on stage. Let's show some love to the brother.
Hello.
Hello. So this one is called Let Us Know. So the fig tree promised us fruits, and we still choose to pay attention to fake prophecy, can't you see? We've been tithing our patriotism, pledging allegiance and still offering our loyalty to this country, but this church I mean, is nothing but a field that only reaps poor harvest, I think. Lack of responsibility is our greatest disability and sin, it seems. The clergymen are taking the scriptures and the constitution too lightly. These ministers who came wearing Robin Hoods are Robin Hoods. These ministers are stealing our blessings in the name of offering services in the temple of the Lord. They've allowed Aladdin the thief to demonize their intentions. Their disciples are using public funds to sponsor their temptations. They die in Last Supper on our sweat and betray our labor. Their Jesus is nothing but a black magician always turning stones into bread for self-satisfaction. His prophets have gone astray. His ministers keep twinkling and shining for the wrong way by the day. What we considered fishers of men have now become selfish men, swimming in corrupt waters, hooking their interests for net worth. So they promised us change. They promised us the land of milk and honey if we let them be. They promised us healing from suffering and poverty, but then, their pockets contracted the embezzlement virus and now their bank accounts are suffering from obesity reality. When chaos comes, these are the superheroes who lose their voices to become the silent man. Tell me, does the silent man understand the pain our ears take to ingest silence? Being forced to digest rumors, I heard Satanism has been transferring funds from local banks into foreign lands. I heard the devil is now a bricklayer. He was seen building houses somewhere. Anyways, they're just rumors. So one day, a friend of mine asked me to metaphor my disappointment in the system, and I said, they peel off their skin and become naked wires on circuit boards. They forget that our voltage put them in charge. When we try to touch them, they electrocute us with surprises, of course leaving us shocked. Some say it's lightning, but we all know. So dear pastors and church ministers, I believe you do not need high-level mathematics for you to become accountable. The congregants only want you to be responsible and reasonable by telling the church expenditure reports like how much an air ticket costs for you to aeroplane our prayers into heaven. You can let us know how much fuel the world needs for it to invite Jonah to Nineveh. You can let us know how much Ezekiel was paid for him to speak life to the Zambian valley of dry bones. Our community is a skeleton. So dear pastor, and whoever who is in charge, if God gave his account through the Bible, why are you giving us plain papers and expecting us to read in between the imaginary lines? Creed.
Again, to the brother, the devil is now a bricklayer. Build some houses no one wants to own, because we all sin, yes, but who is ready to go to hell? I've never heard anyone say I'm ready to go to hell, but we are always sending someone, you go to hell, you go to hell. But I've never heard anyone say, I go to heaven. Of course, we have houses. Yeah, we should be accountable, so questioning our father. Sometimes we need to question our leaders. Yeah, like I said, he did a letter to the leader. I know the leader. The leader is the protest poet. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for TAB coming up on stage. Let's show some love to this sister, ladies and gentlemen.
We the people need to hold these government officials accountable. They are responsible for the management of public resources. How do they manage our resources? They should show us the accounts, the books they keep. As the bookkeepers, they're the goalkeepers in the match against corruption, and we expect a clean sheet. We expect clean deals, cleanliness, not corruption, a dirty mess. One is not supposed to wash their dirty linen in public, but these are public funds. Who would rather sleep in a dirty bed on dirty beddings, a brown stain on white sheets, reeking sheets? We're tired of these dirty sheets. Cut the bull bed sheets. We have the right to demand for clean sheets. Soft, clean sheets bleached white. They show us the white of their teeth, ivory, but kunuma wade biting. They bark, they make fake promises. They bite, they take bites of our money. our sugar, our sweets, and they left us with honey bee. They laugh until they cry. We cry because we are hungry. Are we supposed to eat roads and fly over bridges? Don't get me wrong, we need roads and bridges, but we need more. We need to bridge the gap. They're not untouchable. We voted. We chose them to make choices by listening to our voices. We, the taxpayers, are the employers. They are the employees. They should show us their reports. There should be accountability, transparency, development in this democracy.
Let's show some love again, ladies and gentlemen. We want clean shit. No, we want clean sheets, you know. So it depends on how you know the spelling. You know? Some of us will come from Sesheke, others come from, you know, Copper Belt, others come from, you know. So we have different tribes in Zambia, 72 of them. So we want clean sheets at the end of the day. We want clean sheets.
Yeah.
We want clean bed sheets in the houses that someone does not own. Okay, guys, that was a nice poem. Let's put our hands again together for this. I want to call upon my brother Gerald Sikazwe, Jerry, to come up on stage. He's a curator at Word Smash. He wants to read us something according to the theme. Let's show some love again for the brother.
Hello, how's everyone doing? So my poem is entitled, My Country is a Loose Woman. My country is a pantyless woman. She covers herself with a botched rag of shame. Many feign blindness as they poke into her, ram into her tired insides. She has had her better days. Her skin resembles white elephants, gray and dusty. Beauty she was once known is a foggy memory. Her children prostitute her to whoever comes quick. For pennies, no one accounts for. For pennies, only pimps account for.
Okay, I will not repeat any line from the previous poem, ladies and gentlemen. I come from a Christian nation and I'm accountable only to God, for we pray for even the economy. Yeah. So we will be going for the National Day of Prayer into the year. But you know, today is just the 27th of February. There is nothing amazing that is happening. The next thing that is happening will be Women's Day. We have a women vice president. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, so that's how it goes. So I call upon Alpha to come up on stage. Let's show some love to the brother again, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everyone. My poem is entitled I Had a Dream. This is a clarion call. I had a dream, and in my dream I was old. My head was bald and my beard was grey. I was nearing towards the end of my day. I was seated, looking at the sunset, and in the distance I saw my son. His youth as bright as the sun, my son. He wore passion like a suit, unapologetic. He came, sat by my side and said, "Father, we learned about a generation in school today." "What about a generation?" "Teacher told us your generation had so much potential." "We did. We were tsunamis in our day. But he also said that you are the reason things are as dark as they are today. That you let custodians become masters of your fate by choosing to be uninvolved in the politics of your nation. Listen, child. See, one cannot ignore one's own burning house to check if the street is okay. I had to ensure that my stomach was filled and you could one day have a roof over your head. So you kept silent. Silent and ignored the many elephants in the room. You know nothing, child, but my teacher does. My teacher said your generation was an oxymoron, that you were powerfully weak, spineless, but somehow managing to look the other side every time they stole from your nation. He said your generation was Stevie Wonder without the wonder, that you were blind, just blind, and your blindness made you silent. Silent. When the nation's greater good was sacrificed for better political position, you were silent. Silent when the poor people's needs were pawned off for bridges that they now beg under, you were silent. Silent when the youths were reduced to knights, moving in elves as in lack of
employment and loss of opportunity, you were silent. Silent when the poor man was cropped out of the picture, you were silent. At this point, I was getting agitated. So I asked him, "What is the name of your teacher?" "Your regret," he said. At his words, I woke up in a cold sweat, and that dream lingered and planted seeds in my heart that had long been dormant. So you see, every time we look at Mother Zambia's map, we're looking at our ancestors' last will and testament, our birthright, our legacy, and our future's inheritance. See, no Zambian should ever be left behind. From the slave queen in Lusaka to the struggling boy in Vubi, no Zambian should be left behind. Provincial borderlines are not meant to segregate us. They're just Mother Zambia's stretch marks. Stretch marks on a 752,618 kilometer skin that holds her treasures. Treasures that it is your responsibility to ensure that people you put in charge are accountable for how they hold her. See, if you are silent today, when Mother Zambia's skin breaks, when her copper belt is loose and can no longer hold her pride in place, when she cries for her children, when her mourns echo throughout history, you will hear in those mourns ever so loudly the sound of your silence. Thank you.
Let's show some love again to the brother, ladies and gentlemen. Interpretation.
Belt loosened.
No. Somebody say amen. Amen. We come from a Christian nation. Let's not forget, guys. Right. I want to praise Mother Son. You know, when we speak of accountability, we say we want to point at those that have been accountable for all our timeline. Eh? Yeah, you know, when the sun rises in the morning, it rises every day. Does it miss a day because you are angry? Does it miss a day because you're Congole? Does it miss a day because you know that tomorrow, yes, the results are coming out for your COVID test? It doesn't, the sun. Its consistency, its persistency, unquestionable loyalty, the angry rays, see the sun. That's not fun. The journey is long, but so long the gong, see the sun and learn to be consistent and persistent. The sun always rises, you know. Sometimes when we want to speak politics, you know, accountability, they would blame us. Huh? No, you're shouting at us, you're doing this. This year it's an election year. Let's be clear. We are the employers. Are we going to employ those that cannot account to us? Somebody said we wanted honey. They gave us the one with a bee. Yeah, you see. Then somebody wanted to use condoms. They gave us condoms with. You wanted to enter a hall. What did you say? Okay. No, I didn't hear anything. Sorry, it's poetic license, guys. Sometimes you know words run short. Let's call upon my brother, Call It, to come up on stage. Let's show some love to the brother.
Saddest man in Lusaka right here. Tribal marks. What happened? What happened to Zambian youths being proactive? What happened? What happened to Zambian youths being active? What happened to Zambian youths being woke? Wide-eyed. Wide-eyed parliaments have us all wide-eyed in shock. Now there's a wise owls, there's a wise owns. Make fools of us wise folks, here wise stocks. Now there's a birds, gentlemen, birds. All from one feather, all from one flock, all chips off of one block. These are paid puppets, parrots, expatriate servants, expert liars. They've been feeding us beans for a while now. All from one stock. So let's cut the tongues of these tongue flatterers. All these ballless cowards caught balling with the balls in their court. Caught ballless nonetheless, taking swings at trends like Federer. Because maybe we're sheep. Cheap sheep. Not knowing the price of what our wool's worth. Playing pet games like we don't care. Because we do not know. We do not know, so maybe we are lost. Lost sheep. How much do we really know? How much do we really understand? How can we bring people into account when we don't really know how much we have? You know. properly planned propaganda propels us to believe that maybe the grass is always greener on the greener pastures on the green side, you know. But nobody ever tells us the color of green serpents and how they cut down our ladders. The YAF, CDF, ACC, PAC. How much of our alphabet do we really know? How much do we really know of our country? Two eyes closed, our middle eye shut. We don't know anything. We can't keep them into account if we don't know how much our wool's worth. Wide-eyed, keeping us all wide-eyed in shock. Wake up. Call.
Let's show some love to the saddest man in Lusaka. Just need some hug. I understand why he's angry. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show today, and our next show is going to happen before the end of the month, the International Women's Day. We are going to have an all-women affair, and we shall gather again for it. And then before the end again of the same month, we have Zambia Youth Day, and we are going to have an all-youth affair. Have we ever had older people here? I think we just need to form a political party and call it Wet Smash Movement. Then we vote ourselves. Put a young person in parliament. Let's see what happens, you know. Let them not tell us the future is bright. Let's try to see if the future is bright now, you know, and then we see how the future will look like. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your time. Let's put our hands together for ourselves. For being here, for being an amazing audience. Thank you so much. Let's meet on the 8th of March for the International Women's Day. It will be on a Monday. Thank you so much. Cut the protest part.